Jakepaul, a name that sparks debates across social media, boxing gyms, and sports bars, has carved out a unique space in the world of professional boxing. Rising from YouTube fame to stepping into the squared circle, Paul has built a career that's as polarizing as it is intriguing. At 28 years old, with a professional boxing record of 10 wins and 1 loss as of May 2025, his journey prompts a big question. Has Jakepaul truly earned his place as a legitimate boxer, or is he just a spectacle leveraging fame for profit? Let's break it down in simple terms, exploring his achievements, criticisms, and what it means to be a real boxer. From YouTube to the ring, Jakepaul first gained fame as a YouTube personality, creating prank videos and vlogs that attracted millions of followers. His pivot to boxing began in 2018 with an amateur bout against fellow YouTuber Deji Olatunji, which he won. This fight, though more of a publicity stunt than a serious athletic contest, sparked Paul's interest in the sport. He turned professional in 2020, debuting with a first-round knockout against another YouTuber, Anderson Jib. Since then, Paul has faced a mix of opponents, including former NBA star Nate Robinson, retired MMA fighters like Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, and Anderson Silva, and lesser-known professional boxers like Andre August and Ryan Burland. His most high-profile fight came in July 2024 against boxing legend Mike Tyson, a bout that drew massive attention but ended in controversy due to Tyson's age, 58, and health concerns. Paul won via unanimous decision, but critics argued the fight was more entertainment than sport. Paul's record boasts 7 knockouts, showcasing his power. His training regimen, often shared on social media, shows dedication, with hours spent in the gym under professional coaches. Yet, his opponents' backgrounds fuel skepticism about his legitimacy. Let's dive into why some see him as a boxer and others as a showman. The case for Jakepaul as a real boxer. To understand if Paul has earned his stripes, we need to define what makes a real boxer. At its core, boxing is about skill, discipline, and courage to step into the ring. Paul checks some of these boxes. First, he's shown commitment to the sport. Unlike many celebrity boxers who dabble briefly, Paul has trained consistently for years, working with experienced trainers like BJ Flores and Shane Mosley. His fights demonstrate improving technique, better footwork, sharper jabs, and strategic use of his 6'1" frame and 190-pound build. His knockout of Nate Robinson in 2020 and his competitive performance against Tyron Woodley in 2021 showed he can handle pressure. Second, Paul has taken risks. Facing MMA veterans like Woodley and Silva, who have combat sports experience, wasn't a guaranteed win. Silva, a former UFC champion, was 47 but still dangerous. Yet Paul outboxed him over 8 rounds in 2022. These fights, while not against elite boxers, required preparation and guts. Third, Paul's impact on boxing can't be ignored. His fights draw huge audiences, bringing new fans to the sport. His bout with Tyson reportedly generated over 60 million streams on Netflix, a massive number for boxing. By promoting himself and his events through his social media empire, Paul has made boxing more visible, especially to younger audiences who might not watch traditional matches. Finally, his record is solid: 10 wins, 7 by knockout, and only 1 loss to Tommy Fury, a professional boxer in 2023, is respectable for someone with less than 5 years in the sport. Paul's ability to knock out opponents shows he has real power, even if his competition raises questions. The case against Jakepaul's legitimacy. Despite his achievements, many argue Paul hasn't earned his place as a true boxer. The biggest criticism is his choice of opponents. Most of his fights have been against non-boxers, YouTubers, basketball players, or aging MMA fighters. Even his bouts against professional boxers like August and Borland were against journeymen with modest records, not top-tier talent. Critics say Paul cherry-picks opponents to pad his record, avoiding elite boxers who could expose his limitations. His loss to Tommy Fury, a boxer with a 10-0 record at the time, highlighted gaps in Paul's game. Fury, though not a world champion, outclassed Paul with superior speed and ring IQ, winning by split decision. This fight showed that against trained boxers, Paul struggles to dominate. Detractors argue that until he faces ranked contenders in his weight class, cruiserweight. His wins don't carry enough weight. Another point of contention is Paul's reliance on spectacle. His fights are often packaged as entertainment events, complete with celebrity appearances, music performances, and trash-talking press conferences. The Tyson fight, for example, was criticized as a mismatch due to the 30-year age gap and Tyson's long hiatus from professional boxing. Many felt it was more circus than sport, undermining Paul's credibility. Lastly, traditional boxing fans resent Paul's shortcut to stardom. Most boxers grind through amateur ranks, regional circuits, and tough fights to earn recognition. Paul, with his wealth and fame, bypassed this path, securing high-profile bouts and big paydays early on. To purists, this feels like buying his way into the sport rather than earning it through merit. What does it mean to be a real boxer? The debate over Paul's legitimacy hinges on what defines a boxer. Is it technical mastery, honed over decades? Is it facing the best in the world? Or is it simply the courage to train, fight, and entertain? Boxing has always been a mix of sport and show business. Legends like Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather were as much entertainers as athletes, using charisma to elevate their fights. Paul fits this mold in a modern way. He's not a world-class technician, but he doesn't need to be to make an impact. His ability to draw crowds and generate revenue mirrors the showmanship of past greats. However, unlike Ali or Mayweather, Paul hasn't faced enough high-level competition to prove he belongs in their league. To truly earn his stripes, Paul would need to fight ranked cruiserweights, say a top 20 contender like Richard Jakepaul or Jai Opetaia. A win against such an opponent would silence doubters and show he's more than a celebrity boxer. Until then, his legacy remains a mix of impressive hustle and untested potential. The bigger picture. Whether you see Paul as a real boxer or a publicity stunt, his influence is undeniable. He's brought fresh eyes to a sport that struggled to stay relevant in the age of MMA and streaming. His fights, while controversial, generate millions in revenue, some of which supports undercard fighters who might otherwise go unnoticed. He's also inspired other influencers to try boxing, creating a new niche in the sport. On the flip side, his approach risks diluting boxing's integrity. If the sport becomes more about spectacle than skill, it could alienate traditional fans and devalue the sacrifices of career boxers. In conclusion, so has Jake Paul truly earned his stripes as a real boxer? The answer depends on your perspective. He's shown dedication, power, and a knack for promotion, building a 10-1 record that's better than many expected, but his choice of opponents and reliance on spectacle leave gaps in his resume. To quiet the critics, Paul needs to step up and face legitimate contenders, proving he can hang with boxing's best. For now, Jake Paul is a boxer, just not the kind traditionalists admire. He's a disruptor, blending fame, skill, and showmanship in a way that's both exciting and divisive. Whether that makes him real is up to you. What's clear is that Paul's journey is far from over, and his next moves could redefine his place in the sweet science. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Your support matters. Thank you.